This conference will now be recorded.
Hi everyone, good morning. Hope it is audible and able to see my screen.
Morning, Sujit.
Good morning, Sujit. Yeah, we can see.
Okay. Others, can you please confirm me quickly?
Yes, Sujit.
Yes, it's visible.
Okay. So, what I was discussing in the last session, I think we were discussing about the Hello World project. The first checkpoint to check whether the any point studio is working correct or not, perfectly or not. Hello World, isn't it? Everyone got an output on your any point studio?
Yes.
Everyone. Any issues faced in setup of any point studio and while executing, if you face any issues, please let me know. Okay, now please be ready with any point studio, and I'm going to talk about two type of input parameters, and based on that I'm going to give some assignment. These statements are very important because going forward in our sessions we are going to use these statements multiple times. So that much important these are. That is the reason we are dedicating half an hour for a practice part in my presence. Okay, so that much important these data wave expressions are. Okay, so I'm going to give some task as well next half an hour once I explain the concept. Okay, so before that I just want to make you to recollect a few points. I will ask few questions. Please be ready with your answers. What is the structure of a mule event? What is the structure of a mule event?
It has a mule message and a variable, and a mule
That means,
message has
hmm.
attributes and payload.
So finally, can we say mule event is like a it's like a default container with three partitions like attributes, payload, and variables. Right? Can I have a multiple payloads in one message? Others also, if you need to respond, guys. Please unmute your mics and respond. Tell me, can we have multiple payloads in one message? If you guys are not responding, I will treat that you didn't understand anything there.
No,
Is it so? Is it so?
payload is like a body of.
I'll give 2 minutes time. Please analyze this. Okay, we explained that part right earlier. Please analyze this diagram, and I will start asking questions because I'm not getting any responses apart from Shalini. No use without getting responses, without your understanding going forward is no use. Yes, Neeraj, I can't hear you. If I mean, in that case, you can log out and log in once. Okay, shall I go ahead? Are you ready? Yes, guys, are you ready? Is it audible? My voice, is it audible? Are we connected?
You're audible.
Yes, Sujit.
Okay.
Sujit.
So answer my
Yes,
questions
Sujit.
now, please. So shall I move on? Shall I start? We'll ask with the
Yes.
basic questions, and we move on to the little bit forward. So, what is the structure of a flow? Basic flow. I want answers from everyone.
Source, process, and error.
First process and error handling. Okay. So, what my source part will do? What type of configurations will do in a source part?
Like where we'll be connecting like listeners, JMS listener, HTTP listener.
Basically, the components where it will start the flow, trigger the flow, right? Or I can say like any processor which is accepting the request from outside, right? So we'll call that as a
Source.
source part, right? Yeah. And what my listener will do after listening to the request?
It will convert
Uh,
the HTTP response to mule message, HTTP message to mule message format.
Mule message that indirectly I can say mule instead of mule message mule event.
Yes.
Yes, mule event.
Yeah. Okay.
And
Now what is the structure of a mule event by default after the listener immediately? How you will decide what value is present in the event? First of all, what is the structure of an event?
it will have mule message and variables. And within mule message, again, we have attributes and payload.
Attributes, payload, and variables finally. Okay. So what are the values present in the event by default after the listener immediately? How we will decide on what basis?
Looking at the payload and the attribute
From
from a mule
input.
message. Yeah, input. Yeah. Okay.
Basically, from the input request, after listener listen to the request, when it converts into event, if you have any attributes in that, that will be part of that event. If method is post or if you are submitting any data from the request, that will become a payload value. By default, variables will be 0, right? After that, my event will be processed by the processors. Since those are processing the event, we can consider those as event processors. Okay, event processors. Now finally the response will be given back to the client through through what will give the response back to the client? HTTP listener only, right? At the end you can see the response is going back to the client. Okay, so this is very important. Everyone said that you completed hello world project. On what basis you completed, guys? One second. Just give me 1 minute, guys. Okay, 1 second. Okay, some people from your batch called me that this link is not working, so I taken a call. Yeah. So we discussed about a Hello World project. Everyone told that we got an output. Let's see. We'll talk about a few other concepts also, and you can try together at a time. And we discussed about a variable also in the last session, right? Variable is an object. What is a variable name? What is the object name by default internally?
Where's
Vars, right? If I want to extract any variable value present in that vars object, what is the syntax? Vars dot
Vast what
object
name of
name.
the
Name, that means key back. It's both are key value pairs. Everything will be in a key value pairs in the vars object. So vars dot key, right? Now, so the first scenario what we have seen, the first scenario, what is the output we got?
hello
Hello,
world?
simple text hello world, right? And what is the API call we have done? REST API call.
Get
Get is the method slash
hello.
hello world is the endpoint, right? So for this API, based on this API, your client is sending a request from the postman. So let's assume this is on 8081 by default and localhost, right? So get method http localhost 8081 next slash hello world. So this is the simple request given by my client. Now based on this API, we had created one flow. In that flow, we created one set payload listener and a set payload. In that set payload, we have written hello world, right? And then of course we used a variable and we extracted that variable value by using a var star. Okay, that is what we have created. Anywhere did I use an data view expression there apart from vars object? No, right? Now I have a second requirement here. I have a second requirement here. So output I want, please be very careful. As I told, I'm going to give some assignment on these two things. So output, what is the output here? Hello, instead of world, since it's a constant, I want to change it. Hello, Sujit. Okay, this is the constant value. This value I need to get from input attributes from the request. So client requirement is like that. So I will create one API, REST API. The call will be get method slash hello world and query parameters required. So this is how the YAML file got created. Okay, same 8081 local host and all. Now client will send a request like this based on this API. Get is a method http localhost 8081 slash hello world is the path and they are sending some query parameter. Question mark represents what type of attribute? Question mark represents what type of attributes? It's a
Very perfect.
query parameter attribute, which is nothing but a key value pair again. Okay, the key you can client can pass the key uname equal to, that means here you should write in the API call itself what is the, what could be the what could be the key, the variable name uname. Let's take, I'm giving a Sujit. So this is the input request on the post web. Then based on this API, we need to write a flow also. So what is the flow? How we can write a flow? I mean, what is the first component?
Listener,
So first we need to configure HTTP listener, which will listen on 8081 and under a local host. Base, I mean, general path is what? Slash
hello world.
hello world. Simple. Now it will convert into mule event. You can write your own, I mean, variable part. I'm not discussing about a variable part because we know that how to create a variable now. So I'm going to use one set payload directly here. Directly I'm setting the payload value in the event by using a set payload component. So set payload is the component name, and I want to get this value as a payload value, so I want to write the body, that means the value part. How we can pass that, tell me? Should I write the value in expression mode or literal mode now?
Expression mode.
Previously we have written in a literal mode because plain text. Now I want this value to be a dynamic value based on the input. Whatever the input is passed, accordingly the output I should get. That will be now. So switch to expression mode, and I will write with the color coding here for understanding purpose. Hello is the constant, that means a string. How to represent any string in data view expression? By using a single quote I can represent that. Hello, and then we need to concatenate that string with dynamic value. How we can get the dynamic value? By writing some expression, data view expression. Okay, so it's very simple actually. I told these are key value pairs in a query param attribute, correct? So if we want to access this value, what is the key to be used?
Uname.
Uname.
Uname is the key. Uname is a part of what type of attribute?
Query parameter.
Query params. We'll call that as a query params. Query params is what?
Uname equal to Sujit,
No, no,
right?
no. Attribute, right? Query param
Okay.
is an attribute, right? Attributes are part of.
Mule message.
Exactly. So I will write only message. So this is the data view expression which will evaluate it, and it will emit whatever the value you are getting in an event. So that is the reason I'm keep on telling before that particular component what are the values present in the event are important. So when client is giving this request, what is the structure of an event before the set payload?
Empty attribute.
No, why empty attributes?
Oh, sorry. Uname equal to Sujit will
Attribute
be
will have
the query parameter.
use
One
query
query
parameter.
parameter with a key value pair, uname equal to Sujit, and
Okay.
payload will be empty,
Yeah.
variables will be empty.
Empty.
So this event will be taken as an input to set payload, and we are setting the payload value by extracting the query parameter attribute. Got it? So from the message, I'm trying to extract attributes. What type of attribute we are going to extract? Query params attribute. In that, how many query parameters are there? Only one as of now. So that query parameter attribute I'm trying to extract. Right? Whenever you are concatenating any expression with the string, you need to tell to the runtime, please allocate some memory as string for this entire expression. It is known as typecasting in Java. Okay, in a layman language, if I want to tell blindly, if you are concatenating any string with the expression, typecast it as as string. Okay, if you are expecting some number, we can expect as number. No problem, Raja. Yeah, Neeraj is also. I think Neeraj still, is it fine now or still facing problem with mic? Try to unmute the mic once. Okay, still facing the problem. No problem, guys. So just to understand the concept, if you are able to hear me and follow the instructions. So hello message dot attribute, this data view expression will get evaluated from the query parameter attribute. It is fetching the value. Finally, what is the value in the set payload? Hello Sujit. If client is passing Kumar, then hello Kumar. Got it. So what's happening? People are I mean, Raja said he's have a call and Neeraj is not having an issue. Anyone else facing an issue in hearing my voice or connection issues? No, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
Sujit.
I'm good.
Okay, okay. Okay, so let's go back to the AnyPoint Studio. And from the Postman, what is the I mean request you are expecting? Let's see that. First, we'll write that expression. So basically, you need to understand when the query parameter is given as an input, how to write an expression to get that query parameters, to extract that query parameters. Hello world is the endpoint. Then query parameter your name equal to Sujit. Right? So I will use a variable. Of course, anywhere you can write a data view expression. I will give the variable name as params. Okay, I will give the variable name as params, and I will switch to expression mode. So tell me, what is the expression I should write? Hello. Next,
Plus
as plus
plus
sign used to concatenate. There's a keyword in the
message.
data view. Just write 3 characters and use a control space bar. Automatically, it will fetch the key. Okay. Message dot message structure is what payload and attributes, right? Now I want to extract the attributes. Attributes dot
Query parameters.
actually it should show list of attributes. Still, it is resolving the metadata on the right side if you can see.
So, Sujit, one question. You are
Yeah.
actually writing the data weave expression on variable, right?
Yes, you can write no?
We can
Anywhere
write it.
in the expression mode.
Okay, so you can write it in the payload as well, because payload
Directly you
will
can write in the
also,
payload also. Yeah. See, variable is used to for what? Variable is used for what?
we can use it anywhere within the project, right?
Correct. So the whatever the value you are getting out of the variable, I can use it anywhere. So I'm using in a payload. I want to set as a payload value. That's why I'm extracting that payload. So next time in the flow, if I want to use that same expression again somewhere, I can reuse that. So that is the reason we are using a variable. If you don't want a variable, you want to use that expression only in the payload in this part only, then you can directly set the payload value. Same expression.
Okay.
Got my point?
Yeah, thank you.
So message dot attributes. Now it is listed here. So what type of parameter I want? Query parameter. Query params dot what is the key?
Uname.
Your name is the key. As string. S should be in capital. Not as a string. It's a as string. That's it. Okay. So let me go to the set payload. Yeah. Now where's dot how many variables got created? Only one variable with the name params. Save it. So what are the 3 steps happening on the console? Once I start the project, what are the 3 steps happening on the console?
Building the project,
Hmm?
deploying and building, deploying and execution.
Building, deployment, and execution. No, build, start, and deploy. Building the project, starting the server, deploying the application in the server. It is deployed. Let me
Sujit,
give an
after this, Sujit, one small request. After this example, can you please also explain why plain text mode? Because this expression mode is somewhat,
I didn't get you, Raghu. Come again.
I mean, giving input in a plain text mode rather than this expression mode. Can you
No, no.
also,
If you are giving input in a plain text mode, how you will take? Plain text mode is used to only configure the constant, the static words. If you are expecting dynamic input parameters, then definitely you need to write an expression mode only. Literal
okay,
mode is a simple text mode. Only you can write a text that is not having any feature to extract any other values. It is only text mode. That is the reason hello world we have written with a simple hello world as an example. Why it is giving as an exception? No listener for endpoint slash hello world. When it says no listener for slow and so endpoint, what is the meaning? There is no listener configured with the same endpoint. Let's see what I configured. Did I give any base path for that earlier?
Yes, yes, slash base path slash hello world.
Or is it so? Then I will give yes. Am I getting a response? In my listener, I given a success as a value, though so I'm getting a success. So in the logger, final payload value. Hello, Sujit. Got my point? Guys, everyone understood how to extract a query params by writing an expression? Yeah? No? Give some responses, no?
Yes.
Yes or no? If you don't understand, I will explain it again. If you are understand, if you can say yes, I will move on. Simplicity, not an idea, no? Please understand, guys. Neeraj
Sujit,
Janivich is not able to speak, at least he is sending the message response. Yes, please.
Sujit, is it mandatory that you always have to typecast, otherwise it will give an error, is it?
So sometimes if you don't write as string, immediately it will show as an compile time error because it doesn't know what type of data type it should assign to this entire expression because it will come to know only while runtime. Correct. While developing the application, what initially it is not able to identify what type of data type should be assigned behind the scenes. Everything is a memory allocation. If you write in a single quote, it will understand what it is. It is as string, right? And if you don't write anything by default, sometimes without writing any typecasting also it will work because by default it will take it as a string. Got it? So to avoid these issues, whenever that's why I said by default, whenever you are expecting any concatenation with a string with an expression, if you know that expression will be emitting some string type, typecast it as string. Or if you are concatenating any with a number, you can typecast it as a number. Basically, these are the data types.
Okay.
Yeah. So yes, Raghu, you asked about a literal mode. If I switch to literal mode, this will be printed there, not the value, right? So let me redeploy.
Yeah, we don't. I don't hear you, Sujit.
Sorry, there is a sudden disconnect in my system. So I hope it is audible now.
Yes,
Yes, we
Sujit.
Yeah.
Now it's audible.
So yeah, Raghu, you asked one question, right, about little mode. I switch this to little mode now, and I have written simple text here. This is a entire text. It will be treated as a text. Okay. Now I deploy this application one more time, and if I give a request now, what is going to fetch the response? What is the response? See, whatever I have written in the literal mode, exactly the same text is given. Got it? This
Okay, Sujit.
expression not
Yeah, got it.
evaluated because that is the data view expression. If you want to write a data view expression, you should switch to expression mode. Then it is having a life. This expression is having a life. Otherwise, it will be a simple text. I hope now you got it.
Yes, Sujit. Got
So,
it.
Yeah.
Sujit, when we are writing that expression, right? So that
Hmm.
message dot attributes that mentioning that message is
Not
mandatory,
required.
or can you?
Not mandatory. I will tell that point. Message
Okay.
dot attributes, right? Not required to write a message, just for understanding purpose how we are getting an attributes from where it is fetching. I have written a message. If you write a message or if you don't write a message, directly start an expression with the attributes, it will work. So because my runtime will understand, okay, attributes are nothing but from a message itself, right?
Okay. Okay.
Okay, now the third requirement is same. Again, I want the expression to be like, uh, welcome to mule 4. So welcome to should be in a string, and client is going to pass this value as a mule 4, okay, through one type of parameter. So in your API, let's take slash products. What is this called as?
URI
There are
parameter.
different names. No, no, no. In your API, get is the method. Slash products is
End
what?
endpoint.
Endpoint.
Okay.
Can I call that as a path? General path, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Can I call that as URI?
Yes.
URI. Because when you write an URL, when a client is sending a request from the postman, it will become an URL, correct? This is an URL. In this URL, slash hello world, can we consider that as a URI, right?
Yeah.
URI will be identified by with a slash. So URI. Okay, remember this point. Now, there is one requirement where client want to send only the value. The key should be restricted at the application level itself. Key will be there, value only will be sent by the client. So what type of parameter it is? It is a, it will consider as what? URI parameter. In the query parameter, key and value will be sent by the client itself. But in the URI parameter, only value will be sent by the client. Okay. So what could be the response? That means what could be the API? Get is the method. Let's take slash hello world is the general path, and for this path I want to pass the parameter. So we call that as a URI. So whatever the parameter you are passing to this URI will be considered as a URI parameter. How to write any URI parameter? In a curly braces you should write. For example, let's take uname is the key. This is the URI parameter. This is an URI parameter. Okay. So putting all these three, I mean these two URI and URI parameter will be considered as a general path in your listener. Okay, this will be a general path. So as an MuleSoft developer, what is the request you should see? I mean, ensure you should ensure that for every flow there will be unique endpoint. So in this flow, when you are configuring the listener, what you should be ensure in the general path? What you will write in the general path? Slash same, no,
Hello world.
slash hello world slash uname.
Uname.
So for this endpoint, one flow got generated. So if in this API, if you have get method slash hello world alone, so for that one more flow will be created in that listener only slash hello world. So this is different and this is different. Okay. So putting these two together will be considered as a path in this case. In this case, only hello world will be the path. Okay. Now my listener, what my client is sending a request now based on this API, get is the method, http localhost 8081 slash hello world, and he is going to pass the value for this uname. So slash hello world slash Sujit. So you need to consider this path, is it matching with the listener path? The
Yes.
pattern, is it matching? Yeah.
Yes.
If my client is sending slash Kumar additionally one more URI parameter, is it matching now?
No.
No.
No. Okay. I hope you understand how to pass the URI parameters, right? So now in the data view expression, I should write the expression now. So what is the expression? Very simple expression if you know how to extract a query parameters. So I will switch to expression mode. I will write welcome to concatenate with, what is the expression I should write if it is passed as a URI parameter?
Message dot attribute.
Directly you can write
Um,
attributes dot what type of parameter? Attributes dot payload, or I mean what you I mean sorry,
URI
URI
attributes
parameter.
parameter.
dot what type of parameter you need to extract? URI
Yeah.
params. P should be in a capital. URI params dot uname as string. This is the expression I can write. So ensure that whenever you are extracting URI parameter, the listener path should match with the input request pattern. Then only this flow will be started. Otherwise, it will keep on checking for this pattern in your application. Okay. So, what will be the parameter here? Slash Sujit.
Sujit.
So HTTP is a protocol, localhost is the domain, 8081 is the port number, slash base path is the base path, and slash hello world is the general path URI, and slash Sujit is the URI parameter. Like that, I can write multiple URI parameters. So now, what is the configuration I need to do at my listener level? Slash hello world slash uname.
Uname.
So what is the structure of an event after the listener?
Empty payload, one
Mhm.
attribute,
What is that attribute? One attribute.
URI, uname.
URI parameter, which is nothing but a uname is the key. Correct? And now in the set variable, what I should do? I will write it as welcome to message dot attributes dot, instead of query params, simply you will write URI params dot uname as string. From the attribute, it is fetching a uname, right? So in the set payload, I will write vars dot params. Simple, same thing. Let me send the request and see what is the response payload. Welcome. Oh, welcome to Sujit. What I have written? I should send as a mule 4, right? Why everyone is silent? Welcome to mule 4. Got my response? Dynamic input and dynamic output? Yes, no, guys. How to extract a
Yes.
query parameters? How to extract a URI parameters? Clear? Yes, no?
Yes.
Now, if you understood these two concepts, I want some output from our side. I want some output. What is that output actually? I mean, basically, this is an assignment to you. By tomorrow, I want you to submit this. Assignment is simple statement. Simple statement. I want the Sujit value and Telangana value. These two values from URI. Sorry, two values from query params. Query params, and this Hyderabad value and India value from URI params. Just see the color coding for the type of values. Okay. So in order to get this output, what is the expression you are going to write either in a variable or in a payload? What is the expression, data view expression you are going to write? And what is the listener path? What is the listener path you are going to configure? And as a client, if you want to test this, what is the URL you are going to send? Totally everything. What is the variable name you want to use? Your choice. Understand the
Okay.
requirement?
Yes.
So please start doing it. I mean, you have two options. If you want me to stop the session here and upload the video, based on that, you will go through and work on that. Or else you want to sit back and in my presence, if you want to do it, you can do it. So what is the option you choose? We don't have much time to discuss about that. Yeah.
We'll do it later, Sujit.
Huh? Pardon?
We'll do it in the background. Like you can upload the video and paste. We'll go through. I'll go through that and
Based on
then
the
we'll.
video. Everyone
Yeah.
with the same point.
Yes.
By tomorrow, I want to complete this part up from your side. I already completed. I want you to complete this assignment definitely. Definitely. Because as I told, this is going to use multiple times in our coming sessions. Okay?
Sujit, one question here.
Yes, please.
So when we are deciding this URL path or this thing, so how do we decide like this should go as query parm and this should go as
That
URI
will be
path? And
decided by your architects at the client level discussion. They will be have some requirements. Your architects will decide, not as a developer. So if you want to restrict the user to pass the key value pairs, if when you are filling the form, mostly used what Uriparams only, because there anywhere you will be giving I mean username equal to Sujit or like that. No, right? You will be giving only passing the value called I mean Sujit value, right? So if you want to
correct.
fetch any like there is a list of customers. If you want to fetch any customer ID, customer I mean by using an ID, so there you will pass customer ID. So the customer ID will be the key value you are going to pass as the input request. So decided based on the requirements.
Okay.
Yeah. While designing the API itself, it will be decided, and what is the key to be used also, that will be decided in the at a API level itself. What is the endpoint you need to configure, that also given at the API level in the business requirement document or a functional requirement document. Just you need to know how to configure that. That's what we all learned today.
Okay.
Okay, I'll stop here. I'll upload the video immediately. I mean, as soon as possible. And please go through that video and complete the assignment, please.
Thank you.